The Bride of the Cursed Lake, Chapter 8, Whispers of Ritual, Part 1. The chapel stayed with me even after I fled. Its walls, its faces, the terrible knowing of what was shown there, they followed me through the dark like shadows stitched to my thoughts. Sleep did not come, or if it did, it came only in broken fragments, haunted by feathers and by the shape of what I was beginning to understand. I knew now that grief alone would not bring her back. Not grief, not rage, not prayers. I needed something more. Knowledge. A way through. And there was only one place left to ask. Only one person in this village who might know the paths the rest refused to speak of. I had heard his name once, half in passing, back at the inn. Thomas Wright, the post clerk, the one who knew the roads better than anyone. Evelyn had mentioned him while speaking with another guest. Her words meant for someone else, not for me. But I caught enough to understand. If the mail reaches the far edges of this place, even through fog and silence, then Thomas would know the ways. The places where the paths twist, where the woods forget their own shape. I clung to that thought like a drowning man to driftwood. I should have been stronger. That's what I told myself on the walk to the post office. A madman in a shell of bone. That's what I'd become. Flesh and nerves and hopeless memory. I could feel her watching even now. Even when I knew she couldn't be. A soft presence haunting each night until I awoke, empty and sick. My sleep-starved eyes saw her ghost at every window, but the last glimpse in the chapel told me enough. My Anna was never coming back. Not without help. Not without someone who knew. Desperation can turn a man feral. It feeds on doubt, grows rabid in the absence of reason. I needed to find her. I needed to know the how and the why of her disappearance. This village, its rituals and its silences, they had a secret I couldn't fathom alone. And so I went, weak and trembling, to the post office. Thomas was behind the counter, a mess of arms and envelopes. When I pushed open the door, he jumped, startled, his glasses slipping to the end of his nose. The place smelled of damp paper and ink, the ghosts of unspoken words hovering like stale breath. I must have looked the madman they thought me. Disheveled, lost, the fever of sleepless nights searing my voice. Mr. Marrow, Thomas stammered. I didn't expect to see you so early. He tried to smile, but it twisted into something nervous, unfinished. I need your help, I said, though it sounded more a plea than I'd meant. His hands fidgeted, sorting through piles of mail, pretending not to notice how mine shook. Of course, he replied, shuffling anxiously. Perhaps you're waiting on a delivery. I could hear it already, the anticipation of saying too much in his hesitant breath. You know the paths through the forest. don't you? You know the roads, the places they lead. I watched him closely. His eyes flitted to the door, to the letters in his hands, to anywhere but me. Well, yes, I do try to make my rounds, even in the off-season. Hard to tell these days, you know, what with all the fog. But yes, I've worked here 15 years, Mr. Marrow. The mail gets through even to the most peculiar places. I wondered what else he'd overheard in this paper crypt of his. If he knew why we'd come to this forgotten village. If he knew about the lake, about Anna. I stared him down, holding his gaze until he had no choice but to meet it. Maybe we could start with the routes, he suggested, words tumbling faster now. A map, perhaps. I could draw one up for you. I leaned in closer, letting him see the ragged thing I'd become. A map isn't enough. You know what I'm asking, don't you? He swallowed hard, adjusting his glasses with a trembling hand. I might, he said, reluctant. But there are some places out there, Mr. Marrow. They don't want to be found, and maybe they shouldn't be. I refused to let his uncertainty stand. I have to understand, I insisted, my voice breaking. There's something in these woods, something that took her from me. Thomas flinched at the rawness in my words. Are you sure it's not just the legends? He asked softly. Sometimes people see things that aren't really there. She was drawn to this place, I said, my voice cracking. She felt something here, and now she's gone. His expression changed then, something between pity and fear, between belief and disbelief. He saw how it was for me, saw the horror of not knowing, and he must have thought of his own ghost, of his mother and what the woods had taken from him. There's one trail, he said finally, as if the words themselves were cursed. Not an easy route, but I could show you. Maybe tomorrow if you like. I nodded, relief creeping in, twisting around the edges of my grief, like barbed wire around an open wound. Thank you, I whispered, my hands trembling even more than before. He gave a tight, uneasy smile. You should be careful, he warned, more to himself than to me. Sometimes you get out there and the addresses, they change. You think you're delivering one thing, but it turns out to be another. It was the best he could do, the best anyone could, when faced with a man who could no longer tell madness from memory. I left him there, back to his sorting, as the whispers of rustling paper followed me out into the fog.